Welcome back to another episode of the Boss E Mamas podcast, a melanated podcast following three mamas on their journey as they navigate motherhood while following their ambitions to become successful businesswomen. We are here today recording live from the beautiful Bay Area. I am your co-host, TT, here with the lovely host, Des, and our lovely co-host, Jess, is actually here in spirit. She's home with the kids doing what a mama does. But how are you doing today, Des?
I'm doing good. Gonna miss Jess, but she'll be here next episode. And like you said, she's here in spirit. So today we're going to be exploring the topic of mamas who stay at home with children and mamas who have a career outside the home, as well as give our perspectives on how you can achieve balance and find the value in choosing what's right for your family as a woman. And here to share the floor with us is our special guest, Lawana Senegal, founder of Let's Talk Mom, who will be joining our discussion and telling us more about her platform. Stay tuned.
So today I wanted to spend some time talking about this article that was shared on social media. So it was shared on Facebook by a blogger by the name of Lori. And so what's interesting about this article that got shared is because it kind of got a lot of response on social media due to this kind of chart that was posted by this mom. And so she calls herself the Transform Wife, and she posted this kind of comparison chart about if mothers should have careers or not. So what was really interesting to me is the backlash that the article got, just because of the way that things were compared. A lot of mothers felt offended by what was posted, but it did get a lot of attention on social media. And what was interesting more so for me is how the things that were put in the chart were more of misconceptions of if you stay at home, should you have a career or not. So on one side of this chart, she kind of talked about you being a working mom if you're away from home for hours every day, or versus the opposite, being home all day long. She kind of just summed up the chart saying that if you do have a career outside of the home, that the mom feels like her life is falling apart. She doesn't feel like she's a good wife or a good mom, versus if you stay at home all day, you have this extra time to rest while your children nap, your dinner is from scratch, it's more delicious, and that lifestyle is more fulfilling. Her husband and her children will rise up and will call her blessed. So, of course, putting things in such a candid way, a lot of people were offended by this. And so I just really wanted to talk about how, as women, what we do and how we made the decision to work in or out of our home and how that benefits our family. So just to kind of open the floor here, what are you thinking? Were you able to see that episode, Des? And how do you feel about, just the comparison of feeling like because if you work outside the home or you have a career, your life isn't as fulfilling as a woman who has the opportunity to stay home?
Yeah, well, one, I thought that was not only interesting, I think it was super judgmental and really black and white. And you can't make parenting or mothering black and white. Like, you just can't do that. So you can't just generalize people. And then I thought it was funny that she said things like, meals are made from scratch and I get to nap while my daughter's napping. Like, girl, no, I'm up all day. I'm doing stuff that I don't have time to do while she's napping. I microwave food just like career moms microwave food or whatever she's assuming. So I don't know. That just didn't really sit well with me. But I think the biggest thing is like, we can't wait to judge each other. That's already a common denominator in like womanhood in general, which I really want to talk about on another episode. But when you come to motherhood, it's like it's on a whole nother level because there's a certain way that people look at things like it's right or wrong. So a lot of people feel like it's wrong for a mom to be away from her kids, or it's wrong for, I think a lot of judgment is put on career moms. And I don't think that's fair because in society, and if you live in the Bay Area, you know how expensive it is to live here. You know how expensive children are in general. So, I mean, I think that's super unrealistic. Not everybody can stay at home. Not everybody wants to stay at home. And then for me, being a stay-at-home mom, I go through a lot of days where I struggle with feeling unfulfilled because I feel like I'm not doing anything all day. where I feel like, if there's times that I'm sitting here and I would be working and I would be conversing with people and having human interactions, I'm sitting here watching cartoons all day, and, picking up Legos. Like, sometimes I struggle with that, and I miss the days when I was very career-minded because I loved working. I loved being out with people and all that kind of stuff. So it's a double-edged sword, but I think that there's no right way to do it. So I'm not sure why we always pin, each side as right or wrong.
Right. And I think that being on the opposite end, me being a career mom, I operate at a high capacity. My career is something that I value because I'm able to operate in my passion. Before I had my daughter, I worked really hard to get to where I was. And even when I got pregnant, I never thought that I had to choose. Like, I never gave myself that ultimatum of either you have to stay at home or you can go to work, because my career is a part of who I am. I'm able to operate in my passion. I'm able to give back every day. I'm able to feel valuable and do what I love outside of my child, and I do love my daughter a lot, but I also love me. Right. And in order to, be a better mom, I have to exercise the skills and the talents that I have every single day to remind me of who I am. So I do get a lot of, not necessarily, I would say judgment. I have some friends who stay at home and they're like, you work a lot of hours and because I do manage and I'm responsible for a lot of other people and I work at a high capacity and it's tough. Moms think that I have this easier lifestyle. My mornings is I wake up and I'm on go. I'm trying to get my daughter out the house. I'm trying to get me out the house. I'm trying to get to work on time. I'm trying to go into work with a clear head. Like all this chaos that I had to go through just to get here on time, to be functional, to be successful, to be great at what I'm doing. It's difficult to balance. So I think that, like you said, just embracing each other, because there's a lot of misconception behind, oh, you have a better lifestyle or because you stay at home, or you have a not so good lifestyle because you don't stay home. So I think that that's really important to try to understand the details of what it takes to do both things, because they're both very valuable.
Yeah, I also noticed she talked about intimacy with the husband and how career moms, they lack intimacy versus stay-at-home moms are super intimate with their husbands. And I don't know where she's getting that conception from, because I don't even know how you could judge that or even assume that from somebody else's. Like, there's all kind of things that go into the relationship. Yes, career moms are tired a lot of the time because you do work a lot, but that doesn't mean that your husband or anybody else is neglected necessarily. I think that's the misconception, is they feel like you put so much into other stuff that you somehow are neglecting your child and your husband, and that's not the case, and it doesn't have to be the case. But I wanted to ask you, if you didn't have to work, or if you had all the money in the world and you could stay at home, would you?
No.
I
think that it's just really important for me to stay true to myself. And that's the thing. Like, I don't even consider my work. I do what I love every day. And so there's a big difference with that. I think that it would be one thing, like, if I hated my job and I didn't like what I did every day, then of course I don't really think that that's worth it. I don't think it's worth to leave your kids every single day for something that you don't like doing. Right. At some point that is going to start to feel overwhelming. But for me, it's a little bit different because I discovered a passion, and I discovered something that fuels me and gives me fulfillment every single day, because again, I'm doing things for others and I'm able to stay true to who I want to be. So I think that balance is important. Even if I had the money, to stay home, like, I have to have some time for me, because I'm learning as a mom, and my daughter's only one, but the days that I don't feel efficient are the days that I feel like I'm failing as a mom. I feel like, and again, there's all these things that go into being a working mom, because it is difficult to manage your time and do all those things. But at the end of the day, when I get home, as long as you have structure, and I think that working actually gives you more structure, because you're more aware of timing. And, I think when you stay at home, like, if you work from home, would you really do the work? It's like,
it's hard. Ain't nobody on you, so.
Exactly.
Like, next thing you know, you're watching TV for 2 hours and you lack that structure. So yeah, I can understand that.
Right.
And then another thing, or another article that I saw too, which has been floating around for a couple years, is kind of like the projected pay of what a stay-at-home mom would make if she was paid. So taking into consideration all the hours a mom works in like the regular 40-hour week, and then anything else on top of that, which would be considered overtime. So they incorporated all those hours and all the tasks and all the responsibilities that a mom does, and they came up with a number of $162,000 that they believe a stay-at-home mom's projected pay would kind of be calculated to be. So I wondered if you guys, or if you thought that was fair or inflated, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I think that it's fair. I think it's underpaid.
Right.
To be honest, I think that you can't put a dollar on being a mom, because that being a mom, it gets you from the inside out, like you got to really pull strength out of you that you didn't even know you had, patience that you didn't even know you had, so it's like, you really can't put a dollar on that. But I mean, that's a lot of money though. And there are some people who are leaving their home, moms who work outside the home, that don't even make this amount of money. And so I think that it's actually a really cool way to have a perspective over like what we do every single day and like, is it worth it? But I think that it's fair. I mean, I think it is fair, to be honest. I mean, but again, I don't think you could put a dollar on, being at home with your kids 24/7, because that is a lot of mental endurance,
Man, it takes everything. And it's like, you can't really have a bad day or like an off day because your kids, it's like my off day might be super irritated, and then I feel bad because it's my baby that I'm taking care of. So it's like, I don't want to be irritated by taking care of this child that I brought into the world. But I mean, damn, I'm having a bad day or I'm having an off day. So it's hard, and you're right. You can't put a dollar amount on it. But I wish, like, in this, I don't know, utopic type of world, maybe where we could get paid for that. If moms or stay-at-home moms could get some kind of money or stipend or opportunity or some kind of aid for doing the job of raising our children, because I feel like we're almost doing other people a service by taking care of our kids, because it's one less kid in the school where it's super underfunded and we don't have enough teachers to look after them, and it's one less kid out maybe in the community or a society that doesn't have much to do or could get into trouble. Like, we're the ones who are bringing in the new generation, and I think that overall, the main thing should be about the kids. So whatever would benefit the kids the most, if that's a little bit of money to the mom who's sitting here doing this job 24/7, 365 days a year, something, a little something would help, even just to give that mom, something to give herself. That's right. I think you said too, like, moms need something of our own. We need to create or to feel beautiful or whatever. And sometimes it's hard as a stay-at-home mom too, because you feel like anything you take for yourself, you're taking away from the family. So you may sacrifice, like, I feel bad getting my nails done sometimes, but I'm gonna still get my nails done, because if I don't, I feel, a little less happy or a little less pretty, because I don't have a lot that goes into me. I'm putting into everything else. I'm pouring into my family. So,
and that's another thing too, the financial piece of it.
Right.
We can go into that as well too, and how that impacts the relationship that you have with your partner, because you have one person who is going outside of the home working for the finances, and then, as a mom, of course, like you said, you want to feel beautiful, you want to do some things for yourself, but that stuff costs money.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to be like, well, asking your husband for things that are outside of responsibility for the family. So, and then you feel inferior that, you can't, hey, after all this work I'm putting in every single day, because being a stay-at-home mom is working, I can't even afford to get a manicure. That can be depressing.
Yeah, you feel like you get nothing back, almost like nothing to show for it. My bank account says zero, but I work every day. So.
Right, exactly. So that's very difficult, I'm sure, as well, and that would probably be like when you ask me would I stay at home, I'm not ready to giving up my nails.
Right.
When I had that conversation with my daughter's dad about staying home, he said, yeah, sure, but those hair appointments that you go to, those are canceled.
Right.
I'm like, no.
Okay, well, let me crunch some numbers then, and let me see how much I need to work to.
Exactly.
So it's extremely important that we stop mom shaming each other, and that we instead extend a caring hand or ear to moms in need, new moms and to-be moms. Sharing ways we find other moms, support, and build healthy relationships is one way to pass the torch. That brings me to Let's Talk Mom, a community for moms to learn different parenting tips, fun learning activities, meals for you and your children. let's welcome Lawana to the show. Welcome, Lawana.
Well, thank you guys.
And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
I'm so
birthday.
excited to be here on my birthday, starting it off in a positive way.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what Let's Talk Mom is and how you came to create that.
Well, I created Let's Talk Mom because I really find joy in being a mom. It wasn't until I became a mom where I really started to dig deep and find myself and try to tap into what passions I loved. And I just always loved working with kids. Even before becoming a mom, that's the job that I always loved. Every time I was working with kids, I just, love creating things, molding young minds in a positive way, because there's so many negative influence on our children today with not even social media, but our community, especially living in the Bay Area. It's a lot of negativity, and there's not too many positive outlets for our children. And also me becoming a mom, being with my child's father, I noticed that there wasn't a lot of things for families. Like, you had to be a single mom to get help. There wasn't nothing that, you could go get if you are a family. Like, it wasn't, to me, showing positivity to a family. It's like, you have to be a broken up family to get this. I couldn't get help with childcare because me and the child's father decided to be together. It was very hard. So, I thought about Let's Talk Mom, because what I want to do with Let's Talk Mom is open up daycares around the world, for moms, affordable daycares, because realistically, a mom can't afford $300 or $400 a week, especially like you guys said, living in the Bay Area. It's so expensive. We are underpaid, and even in a relationship, it is hard for both parents to pay $1,000, $1,200 when rent is so high, and we're so underpaid. So I just wanted to create Let's Talk Mom to just share my journey as a mom, what worked for me, because like I always say on my page, there's no wrong or right way to parent. You do what works for you. For me, being a working mom works. I was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, and me coming from a background of me always working, having a job, having my own money, it was hard for me to not fulfill myself and, like, TT said, my purpose. I felt very depressed because, like you guys touched on, just me asking for money to go do things that I wanted to do for myself. I felt like, how can I ask my boyfriend for some money, that's going to work and bringing in money for the family, for our son to eat, to just go get my nails done when I'm going to be sitting in the house all day. But, I'm used to getting my nails done. That's what made me feel pretty. That was something that made me feel like a woman. So now, I have to paint my nails myself, and I have to figure out ways. It became very depressing. Working, gives me that schedule. Working, now I manage my time better. I feel like I'm getting up, doing something. I'm showing my son, your mom is getting up, making things happen. I shouldn't have to, go ask people to give me money because I want to take my son out. It made me feel very bad that I couldn't get up to go get my son ice cream on my own. I didn't have this bank account to reach in my pocket and provide for my son. So for me as a mom, it kind of pushed my self-esteem down. Like, what are you doing here? Even though I'm making sure my son is eating, we're at home, I'm teaching him things, I just felt like I could have been doing so much more. Mm-hmm. So, and then now me as a working mom, sometimes I feel like, dang, I didn't get to go to that field trip with my son because I have to make sure that he has A, B, and C, to, like food and all that kind of stuff. I have to make sure he has all these things, so I can't miss work, because if I don't go to work, he can't eat. So I do feel like staying at home, there is a plus, because you do get to bond with your children. You do get to be the one to really mold your kids. But I feel like, if you are, speaking to your kids, talking to your kids, because I have a son, he's 7, and me and him have deep conversations. TT knows my son, and she knows that he's very smart. My son is very positive for him to be such a young age, and he also sees, his mom working. My son tells me all the time, Mom, I'm proud of you, and he also seen me stay at home, and I just see, now me working. He looks at me in a more positive way, like, even though my mom goes to work, she still makes dinner. I don't feel like a stay-at-home mom prepares better meals or anything like that, because my son is very greedy and he doesn't like going out to eat. He'll let you know he doesn't like to eat. He loves meals, and I create big meals. But there's also times when I'm tired and I will microwave some chicken nuggets in a second. So I just feel like, do what works for you. As women, naturally, we have this shaming thing, and I don't know why. And I just posted this on my mom page, because that's another thing that I like to do on my page, just share things to uplift women, because it's so many women bashing each other and just speaking negatively on what they do as a parent. And like I can keep saying, there's no wrong or right way to parent. You do what works for your family. So sometimes staying at home does work for your family, but for me, it doesn't work. And if you guys just follow my page, you will see, certain parenting tips, like I say, that I use. I show you guys meals that you can make very fast, for your kids. Just things that me and my son do on a daily basis. And just bring enlightenment to motherhood, period. And, I also have it to where I give back to mothers. A little goes a long way. Never feel like the little things don't matter, because just giving a woman $5, here you go get yourself a coffee, that goes a long way. I have so many women, tell me all the time, just your words encourage me. It helped me got to the day, and I love that. I love empowering women. I feel like as women, we need to do more empowering, not just for 2019, but forever. Women have it so hard already, with everything that we have been through in this world, and we just need to stop shaming each other and come together as one.
Absolutely. And I love what you do too. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to mention, when I see you like buy lunch for other moms and stuff like that, like that's so sweet to me, because you're so right. Like, it's the little things. I almost want to cry. One, I'm pregnant, but also because I just think about the days that I have that are so hard. And then, like you said, it's like I can't even bring myself to ask my husband, can I go get a Starbucks? But damn, I need a Starbucks. So it's like that little stuff, I'm sure, probably just lightens a mom's day, because we, like you said, we experience so much negativity, especially in our own community, in the Black community, in the mother community, in the women community.
And sometimes even with your own friends, with shaming you, like TT said, she has some people that feels like, you're working too hard. Why can't you just take this time off and work? And like you said, if I slack off, my household slacks off. What works for my household is both parents working, and then with the stay-at-home mom, like you say, I just felt like I didn't have the financial control. I never knew what was going on financially, because I'm not making any money, and I felt, how can I question anything about the financials when I'm not bringing in anything? Now it's like I got my own money, whatever I want to do. Hey, if I want to go to happy hour, because all moms need a glass of wine or a shot or something. Sorry, Dan. All right, I'm so sorry. We all need, something. But, just to be able to get out and do things for myself on my own, it just empowers me. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. For me to be able to go get my son, a pair of shoes, or to just take him for a bite to eat, it makes me feel special that I'm doing this on my own. I'm bringing in my own money.
So I really feel like whether you're a mother who stays home full time, or you're a mother who juggles a full-time career, I think that we're all affected by the decision at one point or another, in a positive way or in a negative way. And there may be times that in both situations we often sort through different emotions, and oftentimes the support moms to be have readily available dwindles after birth, and moms are left on their own to figure it all out. So, ladies, what are some things you wish you had, or Luana, what is something that you kind of wish that you had? Because you talked about staying home and then becoming a working mom, but at first staying home and kind of how that affected you. What do you wish that you could have had that would have helped you to manage the emotional stress or the depression of postpartum and child caring at the same time?
Maybe I wish I had more of an outlet to express myself. Somewhere where I can talk to other moms that's going through the same thing, because every time you're going through something, you feel like you're alone. You feel like you're the only one going through these type of things. And it wasn't until I created my mom page to when I realized there's millions of moms going through this same thing, and I just feel like we need to create more awareness of these type of topics for not only mothers, but women, and even women that's thinking of being mothers, because you have so many women that want to become mothers, but they're scared because of all the negativity that they have about motherhood.
And all the judgment that they're going to face.
Because even me personally, before I had my son, I always said I did not want to become a mother because I was just scared because of the misconception that I had because of what social media and then just me hearing people in general made it feel like, oh, if you're a mom, you're going to lose yourself. You're not going to have this. You're going to always be with your children. Everything is mom, 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 mom. You lose yourself so much in being a mom. And now becoming a mom, it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And it just, to me, made me go more hard as a woman. It made me strive more as a woman, becoming a mom. So I just wish, like I said, it was more outlets for me to express my feelings and just know that I'm not alone and I'm not the only one going through this type of thing.
Right. Is there anything that you wish you had? I mean, I know you're a stay-at-home mom and you're expecting the second one.
Yeah. Man, I wish I would have built my mom network before I even had my first. And I remember when I was doing my research, because I was already at home pregnant before, because I had stopped working probably a little bit before I got pregnant. So I had time to do my research and kind of prepare for motherhood. And I just kept seeing everywhere moms, you have to make mom friends. You got to make that network. And it just didn't really seem that much of an issue until I had a baby. And then it's then you don't have the time to get out and do stuff. So then it's kind of I know I have mom friends or I see friends who are moms, but we don't really connect. And I have all these questions I want to ask. I have all the stuff I'm going through. Is this normal? Does this happen to other people? Or, just to go out and be with somebody who at least can understand what you're going through, even if you don't even bring up motherhood. So I feel like if I would have really built that network, that would have really helped me, because the postpartum was really hard. And especially being home and being a stay-at-home mom, you don't get a break from that. You're just kind of overwhelmed and almost drowning in complete motherhood, 100% mom, like you said, Luana. So I really wish that I would have did that. I would have made friends and built my connection. And I also wish that I would have just prepared myself for what being a stay-at-home mom is for me, because it's different for other people. But I think the main emphasis that keeps coming up is structure, routine, kind of all those things, because you create that. So if I'm tired and I don't prepare myself the next day, then I have no structure for the day. And now my daughter's getting old enough to understand when there's structure and when there's not. And then she might try me and I'm okay, I don't have structure for the day. I'm tired. I should have been prepared for this. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have 2 kids. If I don't have a structure, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to need a lot of help. So I would definitely say structure and a mom group or something like that. What about you, TT?
For me, I think that, again, it was a little bit different. I think that on the opposite end, I went back to work when my daughter was 4 months because I took my maternity leave a little early. So I took my maternity leave, I think, at 7 months because I wanted to be home during and enjoy my pregnancy. But I went back to work when she was 4 months, and then her dad stayed home with her for 2 months as well, too. Aww. So for 6 months, she was able to stay home, but I did go back to work. And that was very depressing as well, too. I remember days crying in the break room because I felt like I was missing out. It was Christmas, and it was really hard for me. I remember one day in particular, I had a complete breakdown in front of my coworker and everything. She was hugging me, what's going on? I'm I just miss my So I think that it's both ways. I think that if I would have kind of had support as well in the choice for my lifestyle, because again, being in the Bay Area and just I'm just very independent. That's just who I am. Like, I will go on vacation by myself. Like, I'm very, very independent. So it's very difficult for me to let go of that. But I just wish that I kind of had more support and understanding the opposite end of my lifestyle, and understanding that, hey, you know what? Even though you do work outside the home and you have a career, just a little bit more encouragement. Like, hey, but other than that, in order for me to operate at this level, I am supported by the people around me, because there are times where I'll need a babysitter. And again, like I said, I manage a business, so things go either which way. I got people calling in sick. I may need to adjust my schedule. I'm always having to be flexible. And so that's very difficult. So I do wish that I kind of had just a little bit more encouragement and support in my lifestyle from people outside of me, even like my co-workers and stuff kind of question, like, why are you doing this? Or you don't want to step down from management and just be, and it's like, no, I wish I kind of just had a little bit more encouragement to keep pushing me and keep fueling me for the things that I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it just seems like support. Like, we just, all of us, all moms, we just need support, no matter who it is. It really does take a village to raise a child and to support a mother that goes through everything, no matter what her decision is. So as we close today, I just really hope that whoever's listening, you take the time to support yourself and other moms to be, and women in general. Like, we really need to bring each other up, and we really need to support each other. Thank you, Luana, for joining us today. Oh, let us know where we can find you online.
So you can find me at Instagram on Let's Talk Mom, and on Facebook at Let's Talk Mom. And you guys won't be disappointed. Just come, show your support. When you guys are Starbucks, win some lunch. Starbucks is Wednesdays, lunch is Fridays. So please just come check out my page. You guys won't be disappointed. It's all about uplifting moms, women, and just empowering the moms out here.
Yes. So I just want to thank you guys today. Our special guest, Luana, of course. Again, happy birthday. I want to thank you, Des, for this platform. Even you, Jess, being here in spirit. Thank you for all your love and support to us as a mom. I'm grateful that we can share these kind of messages that are so needed to be said and heard. I, of course, want to thank our listeners for tuning in as well, because without support, this podcast would not exist. Be sure to follow us on IG at Bossy Mamas Podcast. That's BOSS.EMAMASPODCAST. And you guys can access all of our shows on YouTube channel. It's under Bossy Mamas Podcast, as well as SoundCloud. Love and peace.
Bossy Mamas Podcast.